Discovery. The starship Horizon drifted silently through the inky blackness of space, its sleek hull gleaming under the light of distant stars. Inside, Dr. Ilara Chen stared out the observation deck window, her dark eyes reflecting the cosmos beyond. As the lead synorchaeologist on this expedition, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the verge of something monumental. Approaching Koi 4,878 bits, Doctor, came the voice of Captain Darius Jackson over the ship's comm system. Initial scans show atmospheric conditions within tolerable ranges. We'll be ready for landing procedures in 20 minutes. Ilara nodded, though no one could see her. Understood, Captain. I'll gather the team. As she made her way through the ship's corridors, Ilara's mind raced with possibilities. Koi 4,878 bits had been chosen for this mission due to unusual energy signatures detected by long-range scans. It was a long shot, but if they were lucky, they might find evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence. In the ship's briefing room, Ilara found the rest of her team already assembled. Dr. Marcus Wong, the team's linguist and cultural expert, was animatedly discussing potential first contact scenarios with Zora Okafor, their technology specialist. Off to the side, looking somewhat uncomfortable, was Jack Harper, the military liaison assigned to their expedition. All right, people, Ilara began, calling their attention. We're about to make history. Remember, we're here to observe and document. If we find anything of significance, we proceed with caution. Any questions? Jack raised his hand. What if we encounter hostile life forms? Ilara sighed. We've been over this, Lieutenant. Our scans show no signs of advanced civilizations on the planet's surface. We're more likely to encounter microbes than monsters. As the Horizon entered the planet's atmosphere, the team strapped themselves in for a bumpy ride. The ship's heat shields glowed red-hot as they descended through layers of swirling gases. Finally, with a gentle thud, they touched down on solid ground. Ilara was the first to step out onto the alien world. The landscape before her was breathtaking, rolling hills covered in vegetation that shimmered with an otherworldly iridescence under the light of a distant red sun. The air was thin but breathable, with a slight metallic tang. Fan out, she ordered. Standard search pattern. Report anything unusual immediately. For hours, the team combed the area around their landing site, taking samples and readings. It was Zora who made the first breakthrough. Dr. Chen, she called out excitedly. I'm picking up strong energy readings from just over that ridge. It's unlike anything I've ever seen before. The team converged on Zora's location, following her instrument readings. As they crested the hill, they all stopped in their tracks, mouths agape. Before them, half buried in the alien soil, was a massive structure that could only be artificial in origin. It was a perfect cube, easily the size of a city block. Its surface a smooth, obsidian-like material that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. There were no visible seams or joints. It was as if the entire structure had been formed from a single piece of material. My God, whispered Marcus. We've done it. Proof of intelligent alien life. Ilara approached the structure cautiously, her heart pounding in her chest. As she drew closer, she noticed faint lines etched into the surface, intricate patterns that pulsed with a soft, blue light. Marcus, she called. What do you make of these markings? The linguist hurried over, his eyes widening as he examined the patterns. This is incredible. It's not like any language I've ever encountered, but there's a definite structure to it. It could take years to decipher. Jack, who had been hanging back, suddenly pointed to a section of the cube near ground level. Look there. Doesn't that look like some kind of access panel? The team gathered around the spot Jack had indicated. Sure enough, there was a slight indentation in the otherwise seamless surface, roughly the size and shape of a human hand. Should we try to open it? Zara asked hesitantly. Ilara paused, weighing their options. Protocol dictated they should wait for further analysis before interacting with alien technology. But the scientist in her was burning with curiosity. "I'll do it," she decided. "Everyone else, step back." Slowly, Ilara reached out and placed her hand on the indentation. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a soft hum, the entire cube began to glow. Lines of energy raced across its surface, converging on Ilara's hand. Suddenly, a beam of light shot out from the cube, enveloping Ilara. She gasped, feeling as if her mind was being flooded with information. Images and sensations washed over her, glimpses of an ancient civilization, of worlds and technologies beyond her wildest imagination. As quickly as it began, it was over. Ilara stumbled back, her head spinning. The cube had gone dark once more, but now a section of its surface had receded, revealing an entrance. "Dr. Chen, are you all right?" Marcus rushed to her side, supporting her. Ilara nodded, trying to process what she had experienced. I think I understand now. This isn't just a structure. It's a key, part of something much larger." "A key to what?" Jack asked, his hand instinctively moving to his weapon. Ilara looked at each of her team members in turn, her eyes bright with excitement and a hint of fear. "To the greatest discovery in human history. This cube is one piece of a galaxy-wide puzzle left behind by an ancient alien race, and we've just taken the first step towards solving it." As the implications of her words sank in, a mix of emotions played across the faces of the team. Awe, excitement, and more than a little apprehension. They all knew that nothing would ever be the same again. "What do we do now?" Zara asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Ilara turned back to the open entrance of the cube, squaring her shoulders. "Now," she said, "we go in, and we solve this puzzle before anyone else does." With those words, Dr. Ilara Chen led her team into the alien structure, stepping into the unknown, and unwittingly setting humanity on a path that would change the course of galactic history forever. As they disappeared into the depths of the mysterious cube, the red sun of Koi 4878 bits dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the alien landscape. The horizon stood silent sentinel, a tiny outpost of humanity on this distant world, while inside the ancient artifact, the first pieces of a cosmic puzzle began to fall into place, unraveling the mystery. The interior of the alien cube was a stark contrast to its featureless exterior. Dr. Ilara Chen and her team found themselves in a vast chamber, its walls covered in the same pulsating, blue-lit symbols they had seen outside. The air inside was strangely still, carrying a faint scent of ozone. "Zara, start mapping this place," Ilara ordered, her voice hushed in the cavernous space. "Marcus, I want you recording every symbol you see. Jack, stay alert." As they ventured deeper, the structure seemed to come alive around them. Holographic displays flickered into existence, showing star charts and diagrams of unfamiliar technologies. Ilara felt as if the cube was responding to their presence, revealing its secrets one tantalizing glimpse at a time. "Dr. Chen," Marcus called out, his voice tinged with excitement. "I think I'm starting to see patterns in these symbols. They're not just decorative. They're a language more complex than anything we've ever encountered." Ilara joined him, studying the flowing script. "Can you decipher any of it?" Marcus shook his head. "Not yet, but give me time. This is like trying to learn quantum physics and Sanskrit simultaneously." As they explored, Zora's instruments began picking up unusual energy readings. "There's something powerful at the center of this structure," she reported. "It's like a heartbeat, but made of pure energy." They followed the energy signature to a central chamber. In the middle stood a pedestal, atop which hovered a sphere of swirling light. As Ilara approached, images began to form within the sphere: planets, stars, entire galaxies. "It's a map," Ilara breathed, her eyes wide with wonder. "A map of the entire galaxy." Suddenly, the sphere expanded, filling the room with a three-dimensional hologram of the Milky Way. Certain points glowed brighter than others, connected by lines of energy. Look, Jack pointed. One of those points is where we are now. Ilara's mind raced. These must be the locations of other structures like this one. But why? What's the purpose? As if in response to her question, the hologram zoomed in on their location, showing a detailed representation of the cube. Then it shifted, revealing similar structures on other worlds, each with unique features but clearly part of the same whole. It's a network, Zara realized. These structures are all connected somehow. Marcus, who had been furiously taking notes, suddenly gasped. I've got it. Well, part of it. This section here, it's talking about a great filter. The great filter. Ilara frowned. As in the solution to the Fermi paradox. Marcus nodded excitedly. Exactly. From what I can gather, the civilization that built these structures faced some kind of existential threat. This network was their solution, or at least part of it. As the implications sank in, a heavy silence fell over the team. They were dealing with technology left behind by a species advanced enough to build a galaxy-spanning network, yet that species was nowhere to be found. Their contemplation was interrupted by a beeping from Jack's communicator. Captain Jackson to shore party, came the voice of the Horizon's captain. We're picking up approaching ships on long-range scanners. They're not human. Ilara's heart raced. How long do we have? At their current speed, less than 48 hours, Jackson replied. Understood. We're on our way back. Ilara turned to her team. Pack up everything. We need to get this data back to Earth immediately. As they hurried back to the entrance, the cube seemed to react to their urgency. The symbols on the walls flickered more rapidly, and new passageways opened up before them. Wait, Zora called out, pointing to a newly revealed alcove. Inside was a small device, about the size of a smartphone, covered in the same symbols as the rest of the structure. Ilara hesitated for only a moment before grabbing the device. As soon as she touched it, it came to life, projecting a miniature version of the galactic map they had seen earlier. This could be the key to understanding the whole network, she said, tucking it securely into her pack. They emerged from the cube to find the alien landscape bathed in the eerie light of the planet's moons. The Horizon stood ready, its engines already warming up for departure. As they boarded the ship, Ilara couldn't shake the feeling that they were now part of something much bigger than their original mission. They had unlocked a cosmic mystery, but in doing so, had potentially painted a target on humanity's back. The Horizon lifted off, accelerating rapidly into the upper atmosphere. Through the viewport, Ilara watched the alien cube recede into the distance, its surface once again dark and lifeless. Set course for Earth, maximum speed, Captain Jackson ordered. And let's hope we can stay ahead of whoever's coming to check on their property. As the ship jumped to faster-than-light travel, Ilara gathered her team in the briefing room. The alien device sat on the table before them, still projecting its holographic map. All right, she began, her voice steady despite the tension in the air. We've stumbled onto something monumental. This device, this network, it could revolutionize our understanding of the universe, but it also puts us in danger. Marcus leaned forward, his eyes fixed on the hologram. We need to decode the rest of the language. If we can understand what this great filter is, maybe we can figure out what happened to the aliens who built this. Zara nodded in agreement. And we need to study this technology. The power source alone could solve Earth's energy crisis. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Jack cautioned. We don't know what those approaching ships want. For all we know, we could be starting an interstellar war. Ilara held up her hand, silencing the debate, one step at a time. Our priority is getting back to Earth and reporting our findings. Then we can decide our next move. As the meeting adjourned, Ilara remained behind, studying the alien device. The more she looked at it, the more she felt like they had only scratched the surface of its mysteries. A notification on her tablet caught her attention. A message from Earth. As she read it, her blood ran cold. Other exploration teams had reported finding similar structures on distant planets. The race to solve the alien puzzle had already begun. Ilara realized that humanity now stood at a crossroads. The choices they made in the coming days and weeks could determine the fate of their entire species. As the horizon hurtled through space, carrying its precious cargo of alien technology and unanswered questions, Dr. Ilara Chen steeled herself for the challenges ahead. The cosmic game was afoot, and humanity had just become an unwitting player in a mystery spanning billions of years and countless light years. The next move was theirs, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Race against time. The horizon's return to Earth was met with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. As soon as they entered the solar system, Dr. Ilara Chen and her team were inundated with messages from various government agencies, research institutions, and even private corporations, all clamoring for information about their discovery. The United Nations hastily convened an emergency session to discuss the implications of the alien artifact. Ilara found herself standing before a panel of world leaders, the alien device clutched tightly in her hands. Dr. Chen, began the UN Secretary-General, her voice grave. You understand the gravity of this situation. Your discovery has the potential to change the course of human history. Ilara nodded, her throat dry. Yes, Madam Secretary-General. That's precisely why we need to approach this carefully. This device, this network, it's part of something much larger than we initially thought. As Ilara explained their findings, a palpable tension filled the room. The revelation that other nations had found similar structures on distant planets only added to the urgency of the situation. We're not alone in this discovery, Ilara continued, and we may not be alone in the universe. The ships we detected approaching Koi 4,878 bits, they could be here any day now. We need to be prepared. The debate that followed was heated. Some argued for full disclosure to the public, while others pushed for secrecy to prevent global panic. In the end, a compromise was reached. A multinational task force would be formed to study the alien technology and prepare for potential first contact. Ilara and her team were given unlimited resources and a new state-of-the-art research facility. As they dove deeper into the mysteries of the alien device, the rest of the world held its breath, waiting for news. Weeks passed in a blur of sleepless nights and breakthrough moments. Marcus made significant progress in deciphering the alien language, while Zara worked tirelessly to understand the device's inner workings. I think I've cracked part of it, Marcus announced one morning, his eyes bloodshot from lack of sleep. The great filter they mentioned. It's not just one thing. It's a series of challenges that intelligent life must overcome to survive long-term. Ilara leaned in, intrigued. What kind of challenges? Environmental destruction, nuclear war, artificial intelligence gone rogue. All the existential threats we theorized about, Marcus explained. But there's more. The final filter. It's something on a galactic scale. Something that's wiped out countless civilizations before they could spread beyond their home systems. The implications were staggering. Humanity wasn't just unlocking an alien puzzle. They were potentially learning how to survive threats they hadn't even imagined yet. As they delved deeper into the alien knowledge, reports began coming in from around the world. Strange phenomena were occurring at the sites of other discovered artifacts. In the Gobi Desert, an entire research team vanished without a trace. In the Amazon rainforest, the jungle around an artifact site began growing at an impossible rate, consuming everything in its path. Ilara couldn't shake the feeling that they were running out of time. The alien network was awakening, and humanity was woefully unprepared. Their fears were confirmed when, 3 months after their return to Earth, long-range sensors detected a fleet of unknown ships entering the solar system. The UN Security Council convened an emergency session. Ilara found herself once again standing before the world's leaders, this time with a dire warning. The aliens are here, she said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. And we're not ready. As panic spread across the globe, Ilara and her team worked frantically to unlock the final secrets of the alien device. They knew now that it wasn't just a map or a key. It was a test. The ancient civilization that built the network had left these challenges behind, waiting for a species worthy of joining them among the stars. In a hidden bunker beneath the Atacama Desert, Ilara stood before the largest of the alien artifacts discovered on Earth. Its surface pulsed with energy, responding to the device in her hands. "This is it," she said to her team. "Everything we've learned has led us to this moment. We have one chance to prove ourselves worthy." As she placed the device into a receptacle on the artifact's surface, the ground began to shake. Energy crackled through the air, and a blinding light filled the chamber. When it faded, Ilara found herself standing in a vast, star-filled void. Before her stood a being of pure energy, its form constantly shifting and changing. "You have awakened the network," the being spoke, its voice resonating in Ilara's mind. "Now you face the final test. The fate of your species hangs in the balance." Ilara steeled herself, drawing on every bit of knowledge and experience she had gained. As the cosmic trial began, she knew that the future of humanity rested on her shoulders. Back on Earth, the alien fleet hung in orbit, a silent reminder of the stakes. Humanity watched and waited, unaware that their fate was being decided in a realm beyond their comprehension. The race against time had reached its climax. In the span of a few moments, the course of human history, and perhaps the fate of the entire galaxy, would be determined. And it all hinged on the courage and intellect of one human scientist, facing a test billions of years in the making. As the final challenge unfolded, Ilara Chen stood at the precipice of a new era for humanity. Whatever the outcome, nothing would ever be the same again. Facing the consequences, the cosmic trial Ilara faced was unlike anything she could have imagined. In the star-filled void, the energy being presented her with a series of increasingly complex challenges. Each one seemed to test not just her intelligence, but her ethics, creativity, and ability to think on a galactic scale. "Your species stands at a crossroads," the being explained. "The choices you make here will determine not just your fate, but the fate of countless others." Ilara's mind raced as she tackled each challenge. She drew upon everything she had learned from the alien artifacts, as well as the collective knowledge of humanity. With each solution, she felt a shift in the energy around her, as if the very fabric of reality was being reshaped. Meanwhile, on Earth, chaos reigned. The alien fleet in orbit remained silent and motionless, but their presence alone was enough to send the world into a frenzy. Governments scrambled to prepare for every possible scenario, from peaceful contact to full-scale invasion. In the hidden bunker, Ilara's team watched in awe as the artifact pulsed with energy. Marcus worked feverishly to translate the streams of alien text that flowed across its surface, while Zora monitored the unprecedented energy readings. "Something big is happening," Zora muttered, her eyes fixed on her instruments. "The energy output is off the charts. It's like the artifact is transforming." Back in the cosmic void, Ilara faced her final challenge. The energy being presented her with a vision of the galaxy, teeming with life and potential. But overlaid on this beautiful image was a web of darkness, spreading like a cancer. "This is the Great Filter," the being explained. "A force of entropy and destruction that has claimed countless civilizations. Your final task is to find a way to overcome it." Ilara stared at the galactic map, her mind racing. She thought of Earth, of humanity's long history of conflict and cooperation, of their triumphs and failures. And then, in a moment of clarity, she understood. "The solution isn't to fight the darkness," she said, her voice ringing out in the void. "It's to embrace it, to understand it, and to grow beyond it. The Great Filter isn't an external force. It's the challenge of evolution itself. We overcome it not by conquering, but by adapting, by learning, by becoming more than we were." As she spoke, the darkness in the galactic map began to shift. Instead of spreading, it began to integrate, becoming part of a greater, more complex pattern. The energy being seemed to pulse with approval. "You have passed the final test," it declared. "Your species has proven itself worthy of joining the galactic community." With those words, Ilara felt herself being pulled back to reality. She gasped as she found herself once again in the bunker, surrounded by her astonished team. "Dr. Chen," Marcus exclaimed, "you were gone for days. We thought we'd lost you." Before Ilara could respond, the ground began to shake. The artifact before them transformed, unfolding like a blossoming flower. From its center rose a pillar of light that shot up through the ceiling of the bunker and into the sky above. Around the world, similar beams of light erupted from every discovered artifact. They stretched into space, forming a vast network that enveloped the Earth in a shimmering web of energy. In orbit, the alien fleet finally stirred, but instead of attacking, their ships began to change, transforming into structures that merged with the energy network. As the world watched in awe, a message was broadcast simultaneously to every communication device on the planet. It was in every language, yet somehow universally understandable. "Humanity, you have proven yourselves worthy. Welcome to the Galactic Federation." The consequences of Ilara's actions quickly became apparent. The energy network provided humanity with access to advanced alien knowledge and technology. Overnight, solutions to global problems like climate change, energy scarcity, and disease became available. But with this gift came great responsibility. Humanity now had to navigate its place in a vast, complex galactic community. The challenges they faced were no longer just planetary, but cosmic in scale. Ilara found herself at the center of these monumental changes. As Earth's de facto ambassador to the Galactic Federation, she worked tirelessly to help humanity adapt to its new role. "We've been given an incredible opportunity," she addressed the UN General Assembly. "But we must remember that with great power comes great responsibility. We must use this knowledge wisely, not just for our own benefit, but for the good of all life in the galaxy." As humanity took its first steps into a larger universe, Ilara couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. They had solved the ancient alien puzzle, but in doing so, had become part of a much larger game. The journey that began with the discovery of a single alien artifact had led to the dawn of a new era for humanity. As Ilara looked up at the night sky, now alive with the visible strands of the galactic network, she knew that their greatest adventures were just beginning. The universe, with all its wonders and challenges, was waiting, and humanity, having passed its greatest test, was finally ready to claim its place among the stars. A new era for humanity. 5 years had passed since humanity's induction into the Galactic Federation, and Earth had undergone a transformation that would have seemed impossible just a few short years ago. The skylines of major cities now featured towering spires of alien design, while personal vehicles that could transition from ground to air travel had become commonplace. Dr. Ilara Chen stood at the podium of the newly constructed Galactic Embassy in New York, addressing a crowd of human and alien diplomats. Her role as Earth's primary ambassador had thrust her into a position she never could have imagined when she first set foot on Koi 4878 bits. As we celebrate 5 years of galactic citizenship, Ilara began, her voice carrying across the vast chamber. "We must reflect on how far we've come, and the challenges that still lie ahead." The challenges had indeed been numerous. While access to advanced alien technology had solved many of Earth's most pressing problems, it had also created new ones. The rapid pace of change had led to social upheaval, with some embracing the new galactic order while others resisted it. "Our greatest strength," Ilara continued, "has been our ability to adapt. We've taken the knowledge given to us by the Galactic Federation and made it our own. Human innovation, combined with alien wisdom, has led to breakthroughs that benefit not just Earth, but countless worlds across the galaxy." She wasn't exaggerating. Human scientists, working alongside alien counterparts, had made significant contributions to galactic research. The unique human perspective, shaped by millennia of struggle and triumph on a single world, brought fresh insights to age-old cosmic problems. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Earth's sudden elevation to galactic player had ruffled some feathers. Older, more established species viewed humans with a mix of curiosity and suspicion. Some saw humanity's rapid advancement as a potential threat. We must remember, Ilara emphasized, that our place in the galactic community comes with great responsibility. We are not just citizens of Earth anymore, but custodians of the galaxy itself. As she spoke, her mind drifted to the numerous diplomatic missions she had undertaken in the past 5 years. She had walked on worlds with purple skies and twin suns, negotiated treaties with beings of pure energy, and helped mediate conflicts between species so alien to each other that the mere concept of communication seemed impossible. Through it all, Ilara had been struck by the incredible diversity of life in the galaxy and the underlying unity that bound all sentient beings together. The great filter that had once threatened to wipe out civilizations now served as a reminder of the fragility of existence and the importance of cooperation. Our journey has only just begun, Ilara concluded her speech. The stars are no longer distant points of light, but destinations waiting to be explored. Let us move forward with courage, curiosity, and compassion, for in doing so, we honor not just our own heritage, but the legacy of all those who came before us. As applause filled the chamber, Ilara stepped down from the podium. She was immediately surrounded by a mix of human and alien well-wishers, each eager to share their thoughts on the future of galactic relations. Later that evening, Ilara found a quiet moment alone on the embassy's observation deck. The night sky above was alive with activity, ships of various alien designs moving in and out of Earth's atmosphere, their lights mingling with the stars. "Quite a view, isn't it?" a familiar voice said behind her. Ilara turned to see Marcus approaching, a warm smile on his face. Like her, he had been thrust into a new role in this galactic age, heading up Earth's Xenolinguistics division. "Sometimes I still can't believe it's real," Ilara admitted. "To think, all of this started because we stumbled upon that cube on a distant planet." Marcus nodded, his eyes reflecting the lights of the ships above. "We solved one puzzle, only to find ourselves part of a much larger one." "Speaking of puzzles," Ilara said, her tone turning serious, "any progress on deciphering the rest of the alien archive?" The vast repository of knowledge left behind by the ancient civilization that had created the galactic network was still largely a mystery. Earth's scientists had been working tirelessly to unlock its secrets, knowing that it could hold the key to humanity's long-term survival. "We're making headway," Marcus replied. "Slowly but surely. Every day we uncover new information about the universe, about the civilizations that came before us, and about the challenges that lie ahead." Ilara nodded, her gaze returning to the star-filled sky. "And what about the great filter? Have we truly overcome it, or is it still out there, waiting?" Marcus was quiet for a moment before responding. I think overcoming the great filter isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. Each challenge we face, each crisis we overcome, makes us stronger, more prepared for whatever the universe throws at us next." Ilara smiled, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. "Well said. We've come so far, but our greatest adventures are still ahead of us." As if on cue, a notification chimed on Ilara's communicator. It was a message from the Galactic Council, requesting Earth's assistance with a newly discovered cosmic anomaly in a distant sector of space. Ilara's eyes lit up with excitement. "Looks like duty calls," she said, already moving towards the exit. "Care to join me on another cosmic mystery, old friend?" Marcus grinned, falling into step beside her. "Wouldn't miss it for the world." As they headed towards the embassy's spaceport, where a ship was undoubtedly already being prepared for their journey, Ilara felt a surge of pride and anticipation. Humanity had taken its place among the stars, ready to face whatever challenges the vast, mysterious universe had in store. The ancient alien puzzle they had solved was just the beginning. The greatest adventure of all. The continuous exploration and understanding of the cosmos stretched out before them, infinite in its possibilities. And humanity, with its unique blend of resilience, creativity, and determination, was ready to meet that adventure head-on, one star at a time.